Was it not fast enough for you again? Did you perhaps overstretch your wheel bolts a little too far? Then I've got the perfect solution from Völkel here, because today we're fixing the wheel bolts and servicing the wheel hub. Whether it's a wheel bolt, wheel nut, or lug bolt, this problem impacts a lot of people out there. After a few years, they just don't look good anymore. Yeah, and that's how they end up getting screwed in. Or maybe you just positioned your impact wrench a bit crooked and you ended up damaging the first few threads of the bolt slightly. For that, Völkel offers the thread repair kit. Today, I'll show you how to use it correctly. Yes, let's get started right away with the wheel bolts. Here's Völkel's thread cutting set designed for wheel bolts and nuts. Everything you need is included to get the most common vehicles back in working order. Here we have the cutting nut for the wheel bolts, available in M14 by 1.25 as well as 1.5, and also in M12 by 1.25 and 1.5, all ready for immediate use and easy access. And then for the wheel caps, there are also the matching taps included here, which can be used to freshen those up again as needed. Modern vehicles typically use these M14 bolts in 90% of cases. In comparison, a 12-wheel bolt is mostly found in older vehicles. If you're not entirely sure about the thread pitch, there's a really straightforward trick for that. So you simply grab the matching thread taps that you believe could be the correct ones. In my case here, it's 12 by 1.5, but that's not really relevant at the moment. What we're actually trying to determine is the thread pitch itself. Do we have the 1.5 or the 1.25? Then simply hold this piece in place, and when you notice that the threading matches up exactly, you'll know you've got the correct thread and the right pitch for your wheel bolt. This is now 1.5 and 1.5, it fits perfectly. If you have the wrong thread pitch, you'll notice it right away. It just won't fit into your wheel bolt. This works for wheel bolts and also for regular screws and other types as well. If you're not sure, just take the thread cutter set and use it here as a blank to check if it fits. Securely clamp the wheel bolt into a vise and then grab the matching threading die for the job. Yes, this is solved a bit differently here. You can't just clamp it into a classic die holder, but here we have a 36mm socket for it. The advantage of this is, for example, when you're servicing wheel bolts, they're constantly in the way during cutting because you can't pull through properly and smoothly. With this socket, you can easily step out of the rotation plane without any issues. You just briefly apply it, and then very importantly, add a drop of oil on the thread so that it turns more easily, ensuring the chip breaks smoothly and reducing the effort required significantly. You can hear it. It goes on relatively tight. It's simply the case that the tools are cutting at the lower end of the permissible tolerance range, but they are still within the acceptable limits of the thread's specified dimensions. Simply without taking much off, without overstraining the thread, and keeping it within safe limits. So that fits very well. It's best to turn it back slightly again to break the chip. And then you'll notice it right away. It will screw down very, very smoothly all the way to the bottom and then come back up easily again. And there you have it, and you can see it's shining again. The thread is perfectly restored and ready to use. The Völkel thread cutter is made up of two parts. First, here's a coarse side with a centering guide that matches the original diameter, in our case M14, so 14mm. Yes, and here's a coarse toothing that initially removes less thread or doesn't cut as deeply into the material. That's for pre-cutting, and then here's the fine side. We'll just begin with the coarse side for now initially. A drop of oil on it again so everything moves a bit smoother, and off we go. Simply insert it into the wheel. Carefully screw it in as far as you can manage using your hands. When it doesn't go any further, just grab the 10mm wrench that's included and turn it all the way until it's fully tightened. Don't turn too far. It's possible that the ABS ring at the back might eventually get in the way, so you don't cut it off from behind. You've already made it through the roughest part. Just screw it in, turn it back out, and then we'll go through the whole process again using the fine side. You can also hear that the thread is cutting pretty well here, and you can see it here on the tap that quite a bit of dirt still came out. So that means the thread, even though it didn't look too bad just now, did suffer a bit over time due to gradual wear and tear. Dirt just builds up there because from the backside, all the grime and debris basically always ends up reaching it over time anyway. Comes in contact with the fine side and then you can hear it. How it cuts in. Occasionally turn it back to simply break the chip again. Yes, and then the threads here are basically restored, like new. And the wheel bolts, they have their full guide again. Changing the wheels becomes much easier and more straightforward now. It's a noticeable difference. And once I'm past that point, you see I can effortlessly screw it in by hand, making it quick and straightforward. The fine side, I wouldn't have been able to get it in the first time. That's why it was good that we could pre-cut. And here you can see it once more. Look at all the dirt that's coming out, how filthy the oil has turned out to be. These are all the deposits that have built up in the wheel hub over time. If cutting it with the wrench is too tiring or tedious for you, there's also a hex socket. The appropriate socket is included in the set and you can use it with the ratchet. If you're planning to tighten the wheel bolts using the impact wrench, do yourselves a favor. Thread them in 1 or 2 turns manually first and then switch to the impact wrench at the lowest torque setting. Just tighten them up until they're snug and that's it. The torque wrench will take care of the rest. Whether it's lug bolts, lug nuts, or wheel nuts, this Völkel set is an essential item for every toolbox out there. It screws on smoother, making it easier. Next tire change, the mechanic or you'll be really thankful the lug nuts work more elegantly. They come off much cleaner and much neater without having to worry about anything getting stuck or jammed in there. I say thank you for watching. I'd be happy if you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and tune in again for the next video. I say thank you, ciao, and yeah, bye Völkel. See you next time.
Been feeling trapped down on the floor. I don't know what for. Feels like I'm gonna lose. Silence takes a hold. I can't let it go. Chin up, no one knows. But I won't let the stormy seas throw me in open water. Let me have my peace.